Okay, so today I'm going to talk about the background of this case. And, the first incident occurred between April 28 and May 6, 2015. And one employee was on duty in Johor and stayed at one of the employer's partner hotel. The employer, however, received an email from his partner hotel on May 12, 2015. It's all about employee who is working on outside and get drunk and misbehaving in the hotel bar. So on May 13, the employer immediately asked the employee to meet with the human resource representative and let human resource manager to ask the detail of the matter in this person. Then on May 20, the employer asked the employee who made a mistake to email the hotel and apologize. And eventually, the employer realized that such an employee could be very bad. So he sent a letter to the employee on May 28, 2015, which include the hotel's original complaints and the employee response in writing on June 1, 2015, and admitted all charges. That's good. But finally, on June 30, 2015, the employee was asked to meet with the employer's corporate department head and the head of human resource and receive a termination letter. Meaning what? That's meaning the employee was fired. And also at this time, the employee was very disaffected, with this verdict, because he believed that the fact that he was alone in hotel bar and in his free time and not wearing working clothing and had nothing to do with the company. So he had a cleaner disciplinary record with the employer, and also he believed that dismissing him immediately is not in line with the rules. So this dispute escalated to the industry court. From this page, I like to talk about some following reasons why employer to see that to want to fire this employee. In response to the employee, the employer stated the employee has acknowledged all of the action list in the hotel complaint email, including the following. You see. So the employer argued that behavior of the employee not comply with the term of employment and the misconduct policies and procedures set out in the employer's employment policy and the employer's code of business conduct. This damages employer's interest, and reputation. And it is also unethical that the employer believes that any reasonable person would see this employee is untrust.
Hello everyone, my name is Ko Qiuying. My matric number is 2048005. I will introduce part 2, description of the case. The employer received an email on 12 May 2015 from the hotel regarding an accident on 3 May 2015, describing the employee as being drunk and misbehaving at the hotel bar. On 13 May 2015, the employee was called for a meeting with his manager and a HR representative, where he was verbally questioned. On 20 May 2015, the employee sent an email apology to the hotel. The employer issued a showcase letter to the employee on 28 May 2015, enclosing the original complaint from the hotel. The employee responded in writing on 1st June 2015, admitting to all the allegations and was informed that his case would be discussed by a disciplinary committee on 24 June 2015. On 30 June 2015, the employee was called for a meeting with the employer's country decision leader and the head of HR, and was handed a letter of termination and informed that his employment was being terminated. The employer had clear business conduct guidelines and policies and procedures on misconduct in employment policy documents citing out misconduct consequences and disciplinary procedures. The documents formed part of the employee's terms and conditions of employment. The employee voluntarily admitted to the allegations and thus the employer's decision not to convey a dynamic inquiry could be justified. The employee testified that he gets aggressive and irresponsible when drunk, and that his behavior was not okay and could damage the employer's reputation. The employee's misconduct was during a business trip at the bar of the employee's corporate partner hotel. The fact that the hotel emailed the employer further shows that the view associated the employee's misconduct with the employer. Okay, that's all. That's my part. Welcome next presenter.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Fu Weijie, and my matric number is 204755. Part 3, the main contradiction between the employer and the employee in this case. The incident was caused by the employee being drunk and misbehaving in the hotel bar. Therefore, the employer decided to dismiss the employee because the employer believed that his misconduct and caused very serious damage to the company's reputation and violated the code of business conduct in the terms of employment that the employee knew. However, the employee disputed that he believed he was alone at the hotel bar in his free time, not wearing work clothes. He considers this to be in his own personal space and not during his working time. He also claimed that he is not wanted and any discipline and his repressed job, so he did not think the dismissal was justified. The employee's alleged misconduct substantiated. The facts and evidence before the industrial court clearly show that the employee's irresponsible conduct and the hotel led the company to dismiss him with sufficient reason. The employee acknowledged the conduct list in the hotel's complaint. So the company acted impartially and for real reason. The industrial court's design of the dismiss the employee's grant of appeals did not go beyond a reasonable response. In other words, it is actually within the range of responsible acts. The employee argued that what he did after working time was personal and was done in his own free time. But it turns out that he still at the hotel paid by the company for his work that day. Therefore, it cannot be said that anything he did was unrelated to the job. So it would be wrong to dismiss it as misconduct. It turns out that the employee's action were sufficient to alter the company's reputation and the Messiah principal company. Accordingly, the court concluded that the employee's dismissal decision was within a responsible response. The facts and evidence before the industrial court clearly show that the employee's irresponsible behaviors at the hotel led the company to dismiss him for surface reason. The company simply acted on the case. Therefore, the court found that the employee's conduct in the reason was just and upheld the dismissal.
Hello everyone, my name is Li Jiangfeng, and my module number is 201629, and my part is how to solve this problem and what the challenges you face. So firstly, I will talk about the employer's behavior. Of course, during the business trips, its personal behavior, whether it's working time or non-working time, to a certain extent represent the company's image. And at the same time, what he did indeed damaged the interest of the hotel and had a great impact on the company's reputation. And the staff also admitted that he had damaged the hotel, and he also admitted that it was indeed case to the guests of the hotel safety, hygiene, and sexual harassment, which means that he admits that everything he has done is detrimental to the company's image, so he must pay for his actions. Due to its version of the employer code of the conduct, subterfuge and sexual harassment in the hotel in public expenses, the company's image has been seriously affected. Although there was an email to remind the incident, it was a drop in the bucket, so he has ordered to be filled. Here, I want to recommend that the company's resolution fails the employer at the same time conduct an investigation on the personal behavior and the personal morality of employers and dismiss or transfer employers who have misbehavior and misconduct from important personnel. And sometimes the hotel will become the hazard female employers and the frightened the guest will be appeased and the related expenses will be borne. It has recommended the hotel and the company keep effective service video and evidence or damaged in order to maintain the impressment of the judgment of the avoid assistance. So the challenges with the questions happens in the employer during the business and personal time while traveling. At the same time, I was intoxicated. There was a acknowledgement and other influence that made him confused. Sexual harassment and damage to the hotel's financial damagement to the possible interest because it happens during a business trip. To provoke its judge that some difficulty. Personal time means taking responsibility by yourself, but its image ruins the image of companies. Moreover, during the business trip, all expenses by the company, and these two are conflictual challenges faced in the judgment, but they destroy the behavior of the employers. Most of the rules and expenses are contracted by the company. It's expired part. At the same time, the company will also face a lot of challenges. They must compensate the hotel will retain its image and conduct internal audits to maintain the company's good image. So that's what I talk about, how to solve it. And the last paragraph I read is about the challenges. So that's all for my part, and thank you for listening.
Okay, next is about the chapter 5, which is avoid this situation in the future. The first one is retain sufficient evidence and look for the relevant laws to secure the interests of the company. Avoid giving unethical employees the potential to sue the company. In business activities, it's unavoidable to encounter conflicts, as conflict and even inevitable crisis with employees. If the fault is on the employee side, the company should take the initiative to use the law to protect the company's interests. And the second is the human resource department should set up a complete assessment machinist. Not just assessment when applying for a job. Assessment on the job should also be included. In addition to routine assessment factors such as routine performance and workability, the assessment should also focus on moral level of employees. The third one is about formulate a sound salary structure, maintain fair distribution and procedural justice. Treating employees' contributions fairly can increase employees' loyalty and empower employees to improve themselves. Developing the skills of employees makes good employees willing to stay in the company and reduce behaviors that harm the company's interests. And the last one is formulate a sound performance management method and motivate excellent employees fairly and reasonably to encourage employees to compete with each other and continuously improve their workability. Companies need a reward system to maintain and improve the reputation of their employees in addition to money. Other incentives can also affect employees' retention. That's all for my part.
For the conclusion, the case was brought by Sebastian Mathieu Baymek against the Siemens Malaysia Industry Court. The case took place between April 28 and May 6, 2015. The employer reportedly sexually harassed the woman and threw things around the hotel, causing a lot of negative impact later due to the pressure from the employer and the fear of leaving the company. The employee apologized to the hotel through the email. He strongly objected after receiving a determination letter from the company, which he said was unreasonable. The core argument is that the employer believes that even if he was fired, he should not be fired immediately, and that the employer sees no reason to be fired immediately. The facts and the evidence of the industry court clearly shows that the employer's irresponsible behavior at the hotel caused the company sufficient grounds to dismiss him. His actions had a big impact on all parts, so he had to pay his actions. Even a letter of apology didn't help, so he was fired. In dealing with the problem, not only should consider the individual behavior and the personal aids of the employee, but also compensate the injured parties. There are several challenges that employees face: how to behave when they are not at work, and how to behave when they have been drinking. Conflicts between the negative impact and economy loss caused by business trip and the company's need for the compensation. At the same time, the company faces the challenge of maintaining its image. In future business activities, human resource managers should establish a sound assessment mechanism, formulate a sound salary structure, and develop sound performance management methods to avoid similar situations. Okay, that's all for our part. Thank you.